Right, guys, let's have a go at this. Da 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 da. We lost. Okay. I am gonna try and have a go at. Oh my good lord! I'm not gonna have a go like that, am I? Oh my golly! What? Oh gosh! I'm gonna try and have a go at rating our players in terms of our tournament performance, not just yesterday. And I'm going to try and have a go at trying to summarise the fallout from this situation, and yeah, just what we're supposed to do from here, basically. I'm obviously absolutely gutted, but I've heard a lot of chat about comparing it to 2021 versus Italy. Personally, I don't feel as bad as 2021 versus Italy. That was on home turf. It felt like it was ours to lose, and it felt like we were 1-0 up and we lost it. It was in our hands and we lost the game. Whereas yesterday, it felt like it wasn't even really ours to win. You know, Spain won the game, and it was never ever in our hands, really. Even when we equalised, I'm not saying I wasn't hopeful. I was very hopeful, but with the benefit of hindsight, really, we snatched an equaliser through individual brilliance again, which we'll come on to, and that was not down to us being the better team, because we certainly weren't. Whereas in 2021, I felt like we were comparatively on fire that tournament. We won the quarters 4-0. We beat a very strong Denmark 2-1, played better than them pretty much the whole game. Beat Germany that year. So it felt like the year. This could have been the year, but I don't think we set up right, which comes to my first point, which is we started the game with a 4 at the back again. I'm not going to go on about this too long, by the way, because obviously it doesn't matter anymore, but just to say that we started the game with 4 at the back, even though we'd played Pickford at left back. What's going on here then? Jordan Pickford at left back. Maybe we would have been better. Which is weird because we'd given our best performance of the tournament by far versus Netherlands with 5 at the back. So then shifting to 4 meant Bellingham was further out on the left, and we were more exposed with the really dangerous wingers of Spain. It just seemed like a really strange decision to me when we could have doubled up on those wingers with 5. I don't know. Anyway, it doesn't matter anymore. Let me get my notes out before I start proper babbling, because I do not want to babble. So there was a feeling of inevitability about the loss. Not that I thought it was going to happen in that moment when Palmer scored. I thought maybe it's written in the stars. Maybe this is for us. We've won every game in the final minutes. Maybe this is another one. Unbelievable, right? I definitely thought that. But that when we lost, I was kind of like, wow, it feels out of reach for us to actually win. What will it take for us to win? I think that one aspect is a managerial change, if I'm honest. I think we need to have a strong system like Spain have. If you look at that Spain team and look at the individuals, they're nowhere near as good as the Spain team that won in 2008, which was not as strong as 2012. They're not as good as our individual stars. No way. And when I say good, obviously they've won the fucking trophy, so they're obviously extremely good. I'm just saying, Cucurella, not a great season for Chelsea, one of the best performers in the whole tournament. Morata, discarded by Chelsea, brilliant performance in the tournament, didn't score many goals, but did a lot of hard work for the team. They've obviously got those barnstorming wingers, and Olmo played, and they've got Rodri, who's one of the best players in the world, possibly the best. But when you compare it to top scorer in the Bundesliga, top scorer in Europe, I think, Harry Kane, Bellingham, best player in La Liga, Foden, best player in the Premier League. These are facts based on the voting. This isn't just me saying it. Saka, in the conversation to be one of the best this year in the Premier League. Declan Rice, again, title challenging team, probably second to Rodri as that kind of anchor player. John Stones, Champions League winner. I just think our squad speaks for itself. And the reason why we didn't compete with Spain on basically any level was because they're not playing within a system. So we have, on paper, a weaker set of players for Spain playing in a stronger system, which is, it's really eye-opening to think about it like that, because I think, if anything, the criticism of Southgate has been like, oh, let him off the leash, take the handbrake off, like, let him go kind of thing. But he kind of didn't do either in this tournament. It's not like, you would normally say that because we have a defensive system that we're sticking to and blah, blah, blah. We weren't really defensively that disciplined either. We had a great defensive record, but I think that was out of defensive stoicism rather than efficiency. Like, I think we just had good individuals back there, and we, honestly, a lot of the time, we had a flat back 9, really, flat back 10 with Harry Kane dropping back. So I don't think there really was a system there, even from a defensive point of view. There was a mindset, a mentality, but I don't think there was a system. And then, on the other hand, we weren't really let off the leash either. So I don't really know which angle we were coming from, and therefore I don't know if that's why I just don't think Southgate's the right person to take us forward, because I don't think he even did a Southgate. You know, if you look back at 2021, we were at times free-flowing, like when we were playing Ukraine and things like that, and even early on, like against Croatia, I thought we were great. But we were defensively extremely solid. We didn't concede until the semi-final. And that was like, okay, fine, can't argue with that. Southgate's got us locked up at the back and we're scoring enough, kind of thing. This time it was, we were flying by the seat of our pants, but we also didn't have much flair either. It was very strange. I don't think Southgate has got the minerals to take us that one next step. And I hate saying that, because I wanted, to be honest, I wanted to win yesterday for him more than even me. But I don't think he can take us that next step. And my option for the next manager would be Lee Carsley, who is the under-21s manager, who took them to a European Championship win against Spain last year. I've thought it through. I've thought about these, fanciful options of Klopp and Pep and all that. It's ridiculous. Less fanciful, but maybe potential options, such as Eddie Howe and Graham Potter. Not against that. More into Eddie Howe, but he's kind of well into the Newcastle project. Graham Potter wasn't really keen on his comms during the tough times at Chelsea. I don't think his self-PR was very good. Lee Carsley knows the system, knows the setup, has won, knows tournament football, and is part of the kind of England grassroots scheme. So I would pick him. I think, so should Southgate stay? No. And I hope that he steps down and realises that he took us so far, and as far as I'm concerned, will be forever loved for what he did. He's changed the culture of English football, and I think if we win in the future, it'll be because of the foundations that he laid. But should he stay? No, and I think he should step down graciously, give someone else a crack. If, just after like after 2021, if you take a team to one final and you lose on pens, you deserve a crack at another final. You take them to the World Cup next and you go out to one of the best teams in the world at the time, a team that took Argentina to the brink in the final. So we lost to France. Okay, you have another crack at the Euros. He's had another crack at the Euros, took us to a final, hasn't won another final. That's time to leave it, because the World Cup crack wasn't that great. We played better against France and couldn't get through. And we were completely outplayed in this final, completely. If we played unbelievably well and just were really unlucky, penalty decision, that kind of thing, maybe. But we were completely outplayed. We need a systemic change. And this brings me on to my next point, the future. Are we still hoping for this to happen in the future? My answer is yes, because if you look at this team, we're looking at a lot of players who are going to be here in 5 years, peaking in 5 years. So all within the range of 18 to 23 years old, let's say, are Mark Gahey, Kobbie Mainoo, Bukayo Saka, Phil Foden, Jude Bellingham, right? Even Ollie Watkins, who I've put on the bench up here. Ollie Watkins, he'll be there. Cole Palmer, who's on the bench because he came on for Mainoo. Cole Palmer will be there. Declan Rice, I think he'll be a good age for the next few times. Yeah, he's 25, you see. So he's going to be like a real rock at that anchor. I think he'll probably kind of settle into the anchor role as he gets older as well. So if we're thinking about Euro 2028, which makes me feel a bit sick to be thinking about that, to be quite frank. You know, we're talking Mainoo's going to be 22, Saka's going to be 26, Foden's going to be 26, Bellingham's going to be 24, Declan Rice going to be 29. That sounds like an exciting team. Now, the reason why it also makes me feel sick is because, you know, my entire lifetime has been next time. Oh, we've got this team for next time. I don't know if that's ever necessarily been true until now, really. If you look back, I was saying next time, you know, in like 2010, when that was clearly the end of a cycle. Lampard was going, Gerrard was going, you know. I was saying next time in 2014, when we were hoping for the likes of Phil Jones, Chris Smalling, Jack Wilshere. It just wasn't going to happen. They weren't world-beating potential stars. They already are. And that brings me on to my next point, the deadwood. Who do we get rid of? I'm not saying I dislike any of these players. I'm not saying they played well or not. We'll come on to that in a second. Kyle Walker's got to go. He's 34. I don't think he was up to scratch really in this tournament, but we just about got by. His pace is brilliant, but I'm not sure he offers anything else for us now. John Stones can stay. So I think John Stones, similar to Declan Rice, will be a decent age for a centre-back next tournament. So he's 30. See, I think the idea of having a John Stones at 34 at Euro 2028, the reason why I keep mentioning 2028 is because that's in Britain. The finals at Wembley again. We know that we always do better in home tournaments. Everyone does. So a 34-year-old John Stones leading from the back in that tournament, that makes me feel good. You know, and if he can build a partnership with Mark Gahey, which he looks like he clearly can, that's exciting to me. You know, this team, it really is next time. It really could be next time. And honestly, I wasn't thinking that even 8 hours ago. I was sat here so depressed, honestly, mate. But looking at it, this team's peak, if we're swapping Walker for, let's say, a Reece James, like how old is Reece James going to be in 2028? He's going to be 28. Reece James at right back. Left back could be fucking... Who could that be? Tyrick Mitchell at Crystal Palace. He's a young kid. Like this, and never mind, 5 years ago I wouldn't have known Jude Bellingham was going to be what he is today. So never mind, who's going to come up in the next 2-3 years. There will be Mainoo. Didn't know Mainoo existed a year ago. So, and other teams will strengthen and change and cycle. And I saw an argument this morning to say that we have had quite a favourable period where there hasn't been a clear giant team like there was for Spain between 2008 and 2012, Germany between, say, 2014, 2018, or 2010 to 2014 even, you could say, for Germany, when they won in 2014. Portugal with the Ronaldo era, 2014 to 2020, you could say, is definitely a strong time for them. But now, currently, we have gone through, maybe not currently actually, but we have gone through a bad Germany era. We're coming out of a bad Spanish era. They were really struggling. Italy, very bad era for Italy at the moment. France potentially struggling with a set of starlets just like us. So it's been favourable, and other teams will get better. But when you look at our stars, there has to be a manager that can unlock a system that will unlock this team. And that's funny to say, given we've just got to a final with a brilliant performance against the Netherlands, another brilliant team, and we were 1-1 in the 86th minute. So we weren't doing that bad. You know, unlocking this team is just, it's not much. It's not much on the one hand. Then on the other hand, it's a lot because Spain had 69% possession. It's not great, is it? You know, our players are capable of that. The one thing we're missing is Menu to become an absolute, like, titan in centre midfield. Like, we need that. I hate even saying it because we've heard it so many times. We need that Pirlo. We need Jorginho. We need the Rodri. It's kind of a mix of Rice and Menu. Like, I thought Bellingham was going to be that player, but then he's pushed forward. He's become this false nine. Like, they have to be out there. We have to have a player. I'm not saying they're going to be as good as Rodri, one of the best players I've ever seen in the Premier League, but that style of player, they have to be out there, and that unlocks this team next to a Rice or a Menu, you know. Anyway, I'm babbling. Let me look at my notes again. So can we still hope? Yes, basically, I think is the answer. And is this the end of a cycle? No, I think this is the start of a cycle. I think when you look at 2018, that was an absolute transition year between the bullshit of 2016 and the fresh hope of 2020. 2022 was the turnaround for me. 2022 was the year where I think Southgate was at his peak, and I think we played exceptional football and should and could have gone through against France with a clear, brilliant balance and mix of young, fresh, exciting talent, Saka, Bellingham especially, and experienced heads, Henderson especially, Maguire. Now, I think that will then roll on again. The next tournament will probably be still quite young, but gelling. I hope the next manager can gel us over the next international cycle. Euro 2028, you really feel like that is one to win. And I hate saying that. I really do hate saying that, because I remember looking forward to Euro 2020. Be it like when that was announced in 2012 or 2014 that Euro 2020 was going to finish at Wembley, I was like, oh, that's the one. And now I'm saying 2028. So trust me, I hate saying it just as much as you hate hearing it, but I mean it. I really mean it. 2028 feels like when this team will peak with experience, John Stones, maybe even still Pickford, Declan Rice, plus the prime of these players that we're talking about, Saka, Foden, Bellingham, Menu, like Gehi. So that's what I'm looking forward to. Final point. I'm not going to do the ratings. Final point. Because I was going to rant about like the system and how we played and this and that. And look, we were just beaten. This is what I'm saying. Like 2021 felt worse, a lot worse. We lost it. Whereas yesterday, they won it. And we couldn't really do anything about that with the manager we had and the system that we had. Look, we lost to Iceland before this fucking tournament started. It's a fucking miracle that we got there. And that is down to Southgate, but we need someone to take that extra step. So my final point is, this is completely random, sorry, at the end, but I just wanted to say, been hearing a lot of stuff about like, I posted something on TikTok, which it did quite well, and it was getting loads of salty comments from people who were buzzing that we'd lost and all this. A lot of people saying, oh, well, it's because the English always expect to win. You expect to win and you're singing it's coming home and all this. This argument it comes back around and round again and again. It's the biggest pile of bullshit I've ever heard. There's nothing about what we do that is any different to any other fans of any team in any final ever. We literally go into a final thinking, we might win this. That's literally what you should do. as a cohort of fans. Imagine not doing that. Imagine not singing your songs. And imagine those songs not being about winning. People are like, it's coming home, it's such an arrogant song. Sorry, what fucking football songs are you singing? What fucking football songs? Name me a prominent football chant for a team. I'm not talking about the sarcastic ones or the ironic ones or the ones about other teams. Name me a prominent chant for a team, any team, that is not about them winning or doing well or being good or whatever. It's coming home is just another version of that. So fuck that argument. And secondly, people being like, oh, you're going in expecting to win. What are you basing that on? We're just excited. I know I'm getting mardy at comments here basically, but the comments to me represent a sentiment around the rest of Britain, obviously mainly Scotland, and the rest of Europe about the way we act when we're doing well. I don't get the hate. I get the hate culturally. You know, there's a lot of history involved in that hate, and I get that. But purely from a sporting point of view, I don't understand. You know, maybe it's linked to our hooliganism past and things like that. I don't know, but the idea that a set of fans are not almost permitted to be excited or hopeful for any tournament, and that goes from England in the final all the way down to, you know, Georgia in getting battered by Spain. Like Georgia should hope as well. We're all in it because we qualified, and we're all in it because we deserve to be there and deserve to hope that something might happen. And just like Greece in 2004, and just like Leicester in the Premier League, people say, oh, they're once in a million years. No, they're not. Things happen. Things can happen. This is football. This is sport. And the tournament is designed to determine who deserves to win. And you go there, you fight. If you get to the final, you deserve to hope that you might win. And so I just get so annoyed with this, like, England bashing, you're arrogant, you're this, blah, blah, blah. I'm not having it. I enjoyed this journey. Well, I enjoyed it as of the Switzerland game. Early before that, it was dire. And I would just like to say something to everyone at home. I want me to be the representative of England fandom, right? And I'll tell you why. I know you're English watching this, but I'll tell you why. Because I swear to you, I am not an arrogant England fan. I am simply a hopeful, trying to be positive, optimistic when I can be England fan, right? And I have been that, let me be clear, ever since I've been born. So when I'm saying I'm depressed today, and when I'm saying I can't bear to think about 2028 or whatever, I'll be there, you know, so long as I don't get hit by a bus. I'll be there. And I'll be there in 2030, 2032. Like, even if we win, I'll be there after that. Or if we never win, I'll be there the whole time. Like, because I was there from the first one I can remember, pretty much 1998, the whole David Beckham fiasco. 2000, didn't get out of the group. 2002, David Seaman getting lobbed. 2004, Portugal. 2006, Portugal. 2008, didn't qualify. 2010, the Lampard no goal. 2012, Italy on pens. 2014, didn't get out of the group. 2016, Iceland. 2018, semi-final. 2020, final. 2022, quarter-final loss. 2024, final loss. I've been there through all the downs and all the ups, and I will continue to be there through the future ones. So anyone saying that I'm arrogant can fuck off. Can fuck off. Because I'm not. I'm just supporting my team. And I'm not just supporting them during the tournaments. I'm supporting them during all the shit qualification games. All of the shit. You know how much I've concentrated on this tournament, and you've seen this, and I said to myself, said to my girlfriend, I'm going to start YouTubing me talking about England, because I think about England as a football team 20 times more than pretty much anyone else. Well, definitely anyone else I know. I don't support a club team. I watch the Premier League as an impartial fan because I'm from a town that doesn't have a club anymore. Long story short, England are my team. So when England play, I watch. When England go in a tournament, I fucking watch. But I watch England versus Moldova on November the 11th in 2011, winning 1-0. Do you know what I mean? Like, I watch all of it. All of it. So all the part-time arrogant fans, fine. All the part-time lovely fans, fine. I'll see you next time. But I'll still be here and I will continue to post this because I want to prove to myself and to everyone out there that it is possible to continue to support England in a purely optimistic, positive and supportive way, long term, in the hope that they will win, just like any other fan should support their own team. So I will see you here at the next qualification games or the Nation League games in whenever that'll be, September. And I'll be here and I'll keep talking about it. And if you don't want to be here till 2026, then I'll see you in 2026. But don't be telling me that I'm an arrogant England fan for getting excited yesterday when Cole Palmer scored and I threw my pint. Never thrown a pint before. Threw it yesterday. I celebrated, turned around, looked at the table, saw my pint 5 seconds after the goal and threw it then. I consciously decided to throw my pint, right? Anyway, so don't be telling me that I'm a fucking arrogant fan. Fuck off. I'll keep making these videos. Thanks for watching the 2024 Fun Zone. I'll change the playlist name and I'll change the title. It'll be Fred's England or Three Lions Fun Zone or something like that. Thanks very much. Could have been, wasn't to be. The best team won. See you next time.